I have the Powerbomb header from FMF that I'm going to install. Yeah, whatever. It's pretty easy. They say to put silicone on every joint. I don't think that's necessary, but I'm just using a 5mm Allen. I'm going to remove the factory heat shield because you can reuse it, as it turns out. The FMF comes with some hardware, but you are going to have to take a little bit of the hardware off of this bike and reuse it. The bolts and this will be reused. Obviously this is welded on, so you can't reuse that. This beautifully wrapped header is going to come off. So to do that, I'm going to need to take these two acorn nuts off. I'm going to need to loosen this and the bracket bolt for the top. Just loosen it. And then, how did I get to that? Oh, never mind. There is not a bolt here anymore. That bolt, pinch bolt, was on the factory exhaust. The headers just slip fit into the FMF pipe, which has turned a little bit gold, but I rode it pretty hard. So another reason that turned so gold is because I've got the header wrapped, and a lot of the heat stayed in the exhaust gas instead of being absorbed into the header. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this quick. What I did is I just held it up here and I just wiggled it back and forth, and it slipped right into the FMF exhaust, the mid pipe. So once I got that in, I snugged these up, and then I tightened this and the bolt up there, and then I tightened these the rest of the way down to factory spec. Now it's almost a shame to cover this up, but it's not the best welding in the world. If it was, you know, TIG welded, maybe I'd show it off, but it's just MIG'd. So I'm just going to put the factory heat shield on now once I clean it with some contact cleaner. That is to prevent the oil in my hand from making fingerprints, and then when you run the exhaust it will actually burn your fingerprints in. For example, you can kind of see over here, there's a couple of spots on here, right there. I can see it. You might not be able to see it on the camera, but there are a few fingerprints I didn't get on here, and now they're on there forever. These are the two clamps that you're going to use to reattach the factory heat shield. This one is the factory clamp, the factory bracket, I should say, and it is taller than the one supplied by FMF because this goes on the forward section of the pipe, and this factory one goes on the rearward section of the pipe where you need more of an offset due to the angle of the pipe. Since I touched it, I'm going to hit it again with the contact cleaner because I don't want my fingerprints on it. Okay, I just took these clamps all the way apart, and you can just push them back together and start screwing it in and it'll catch. I have the screw portion of the hose clamp towards the outside. That'll keep the loose end of the clamp on the inside so I won't catch my pants on it or anything. It's also a little bit cleaner look. How I'm going to determine where this goes, I've got this loose and it may scratch the header a little bit, but it's a dirt bike, come on. I'm going to put this bolt through the rear of the factory heat shield and screw it into there loosely, and then I'm going to slide that front one up and see where it needs to go. And then I should be able to get to those screws with this on, and then I'll just tighten the screws here on the screw for the clamp, and then I'll tighten the screws in the heat shield. It's not very much louder than it was with the factory header and the FMF, but it may be, I don't know, 5 decibels louder possibly. So I'm probably going to end up ordering the quiet insert for this at some point. and I'll make a video for that when I do it. So there is your FMF system, the Powerbomb.